Meeting for Monday, October 19th, 2020 to order. Just a couple of quick housekeeping notes. If you have any questions for the Q&A, and send them in to Don's email, dchaplin@torbay.ca. And if they're in before we adopt the agenda, we'll deal with it in the first one. If not, we'll wait until the end. So, with that, staff in attendance that you can't see, CAO, Director of Infrastructure Public Works, Director of Community Services, Director of Corporate Services, and Deputy Clerks in the back, and our Director of Planning. I won't go through the names. If you want to know the names, you can look them up on the website. So, welcome everybody, our millions of viewers watching online. And that we can move on. New business, Councillor Glant.
Just a quick thanks.
Thanks. Councillor Pollard.
Pass.
Pass. Councillor Thorne-Gass.
Pass. Pass.
Councillor Roach. Pass. Councillor Martin.
Pass.
All hands is passed. All right. Deputy Mayor is absent. And I got a thanks. With that, I would entertain a motion to have any Q&A done? No? Okay, entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as amended, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved, seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay. First thing there is the regular minutes from our regular public council meeting, October 5th, 2020. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, motion to adopt those, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right. We don't have any proclamations, no presentations, no Q&A. Mayor's report. All right. I got a couple of things here on my list. Friday, we did our Torbay Goes Green event here at the Town Hall. It was a lot of fun. There was a few residents showed up to hear what was going on. I know that there was a lot of smiles on a lot of faces, particularly some of our staff was pretty happy about it. I was pretty happy about it. And I just want to thank, I guess, Karen Hanley. She was here on behalf of Newfoundland Labrador Environmental Industry Association, and also Ashley Smith, who was here with Fundamental Inc., and she was overseeing the project for us. And this was a project that's between those groups and FCM, Federation of Canadian Municipalities. And we installed 36 solar panels on the Town Hall. That's phase one of our project. And I guess they're all done there now. I saw them, they finished them off on Saturday. And I think it's a exciting program. It's part of our climate change action plan that's going to be up on our website in the next few weeks once it's all up there. And I invite people to go and have a look and look at all the things that we're looking at doing to do our part as a town with regards to climate change and how we can do our part as the town of Torbay. And I guess the solar panel piece and the climate change action plan also dovetails nicely with our climate change vulnerability assessment that we did in the fall. And we were really lucky to get that one. I know that another town was supposed to get it. And Jess Potter with Conservation Corp reached out to me and asked me, would we be interested in jumping in? And I said, absolutely, and we did. And I think that it just goes to show that those relationships that our staff and our councillors build with these people that we meet at M&L and FCM and these things, sometimes they pay off when you get things that maybe weren't originally designed for you, but when the opportunity arises and you jump on it. So I was very happy that we were able to do that. Another thing, I attended the FCM AGM online on October 15th, and I was happy to see that Deputy Mayor Trina Appleby and Councillor Isabella Fry from Mount Pearl were elected to the FCM Board of Directors, and they're going to join our M&L President Sheila Fitzgerald on the board of FCM, and I think it's the first time that all three Newfoundland representatives have been women, so that's nice to know, nice to see.
Not so
And
shocking.
congratulations to them on that. I know that we'll be well represented there. So,
Good.
other than that, I don't have anything else. Anybody have any questions or comments on any of that? Feel free. No? Good. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Do we have any business arising from the minutes that we just adopted? No? Okay. Got a correspondence here from resident in Rocky Brook Road, Middle Tree Island Pond. And so I asked her to send this because I've been dealing with this particular resident plus some other ones that have cabins in that area over. I went back through my emails. I got stuff there since 2014, I would say. And as the town, we've been following along with our policy of what roads we do and in what areas and all that kind of stuff. Now, I asked her to put what it is that she is expecting us to do, and I asked that it be forwarded on to Public Works Committee and Planning Committee to see if there is anything that we should be or we could be offering in terms of services for those people that own properties in that area. I looked through the list of what she had there. Some of it seems to me that it's not too onerous on us, and I think that we should take a look at it and give it some good consideration and find out if we can put some kind of policy in place that's we can refer to, because I know that over the last while we've referred to our snow clearing policy and some other things around that, so it's kind of, I don't know if it's unclear or obviously it's not clear enough to the residents if they keep coming back asking for the same stuff over and over. So just forwarded that to the appropriate committees and let them have a look at it, and hopefully we can figure out if there's some way that we can adjust our policy to see if we can help that situation out there. Committees of Council. Planning, Land Use and Development. Councillor Martin.
Thank you. So we have minutes enclosed as well as some motions. It may be easier to do the minutes first, as it all pertains to the motions. So the most recent minutes are the October 13th committee meeting. We discussed Spray Lane land acquisition, which is going to come forward in a motion. There's also some information there about long-term planning, the climate change action plan, Your Worship, which you mentioned a few moments ago. And to further elaborate on that, the solar panels, I believe, have been installed on the roof as part of the T2050 funding. We also discussed the TETC and TEAC attendance at the Storage Tip Association and municipalities meetings. Excuse me, and we discussed some items under the Protective Services report. And there's also some Crown land referrals, which there's a motion concerning, as well as a referral by the town of Pooch Cove, which will come forward in the motions list. Other than that, the action report was briefly reviewed. Torre Bay Beach cleanup took place this previous Saturday, and we had a meeting with Cody Construction, a follow-up to Mr. Cody's request for a meeting concerning water allocations and prospective developments that he has. He would like to meet with all council, so that's something that we'll bring up at committee of the whole. So moving on to motions. There's quite a few documents between motions and in the minutes. One moment. Perfect. So the first motion from our October 16, 2020 meeting is the location 19 and 21 Spray Lane, which is land acquisition, cul-de-sac lands, town centre conservation zone and shoreline management unit. So it's a multi-zone unit. As most of you are aware, the town of Torbay is in process of acquiring a portion of currently privately owned land in Spray Lane cul-de-sac area that has been in public use as well as under town maintenance for some time, and which was more recently paved. Committee minutes and a detailed background report are attached with this acquisition form, part of this motion, and attached for reference. So after lengthy discussion at many meetings as well as external devices, poor associated background report in this matter have been discussed by the Committee of the Whole of Council at its meeting of September 14, 2020. The Committee recommends Council seek ministerial approval to expropriate the land, Spray Lane cul-de-sac lands at 1921 Spray Lane as identified in the survey information dated August 17, 2020. Motion as presented. Motion to seek ministerial approval to expropriate the Spray Lane cul-de-sac lands at 19 and 21 Spray Lane as identified in the survey information dated August 17, 2020. So moved.
Second.
And I would like to add that this is part of the formal process to get clear title of the land and proceed as we had previously discussed.
Okay. Motion and a seconder. Any comments?
So just a couple quick questions. So we don't know how much it's going to cost us, though, do we?
So you don't know.
There's no price tag associated with this yet, right?
No, typically when you expropriate, then the price is figured out after. We have an idea. We went and did a appraisal on it and stuff, so we have an idea how much it's going to cost, but nothing is ever set in stone when you go this route.
Yeah, Atlantic Realty Advisors did the initial assessment evaluation, and with the legal matters concerning the title search, either way the expropriation process is required. So the acquisition after the formal expropriation, then work towards agreeing on an appropriate amount of compensation. So it'll still be somewhere where the ball field of what we've already targeted.
Right. Well, I guess this is you know what question I'm going to ask, right? So it's
Yeah.
basically so we're going to that X amount of money that we kind of have ballpark in our head, but that's not, we don't have that in the budget for 2020, right? It's basically, I'm saying it's just an unbudgeted expense, right?
Right. It's been a reoccurring file for quite some time.
Right, but I guess my only concern, again, this is,
Yeah.
I know that we were using a portion of property, we're talking about taking the whole property now, though, right?
No, just a portion that the town requires.
It's just a portion, okay.
Yeah,
thought that
there's
was-
still developable property there.
Okay, right.
So we're not buying the whole lot, we're only buying a portion.
Okay, cool.
Appropriating, sorry.
Yeah, I guess my only comment, concern is that just based on past experiences with things when we go to, it's always, I think, a wise move to put a price tag on stuff like this, because sometimes council going, hey, no, it's going to be $5,000, and it comes back being $25,000, and everyone shakes their heads and says, hey, what the heck happened? And then we say, hey, well, you told us to go do it, right? So lots of times we don't have a maximum, I suppose, price tag put on that, then sometimes it could be problematic. So just for a portion of public monies, I'd recommend putting I don't know if we can or should, but that's, anytime I don't see a price tag on something that says proceed with the purchase without a price tag, I get my spider sense goes. So.
I understand exactly what you're saying, but we wouldn't budget money for an expropriation in our regular budget. And this issue has come to a head, so we're at the point now where we have no choice but to do this. So it's, by the time this is all said and done through, we'll probably be into the next budget anyway.
Yeah,
I'd say.
and after a minister, provided the minister grants approval, we would need, at that point, then we would work towards agreeing an appropriate amount of compensation. So it is something that's going to come back in the future.
Yeah, and I've got no problem, of course, just
Right.
making the first steps towards doing what we have to do.
Yeah.
But I guess I just want to make sure that we we don't commit to, hey, if we're expecting X price, if we're expecting a Y price, we can't say, well, geez, well, no, we've got to do it because we had a motion. It's just, I just like to see, hey, let's proceed with it in our budget for 2021, saying we got this much money set aside, because I don't want to, obviously be taking stuff out of.
Once the town takes a step to expropriate property, and the minister gives approval, and the sign goes on it, the town owns it, no matter what. So the price afterwards has to get figured out. So that's how expropriation works.
Yeah, no, I don't like saying we're going to purchase something without knowing the price. I think that's just good governance.
There's an estimate to that price, it's in the documentation, right? Is it?
There is, yeah.
So it's in there.
There is a ballpark committee's aware of. As it's open and stuff, it wouldn't be appropriate to say public chambers, but, we've been trying to work with the property owner, and, the property owner would like to find a settlement, as well as the town. So we're hoping we can find some mutual agreement after we proceed with the ministerial process. Unfortunately, with regards to the title matter, we don't have a way around expropriation. It's more of a, it's an intimidating term, expropriation, of course, but it's a process that we have to follow, and then hopefully we can collaboratively work with the property owner to close this out.
I think, I just don't want to have, a surprise price tag at the end of this. If we're all going in and you're saying, hey, it's going to be X, ends up being twice that, then it's, that's thousands of dollars we don't have to fix potholes or whatever like that, right? So I don't like having a maximum put on.
Okay.
All right, anybody else have any questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. And the next one is a Crown Land referral, number 156993, file reference number 1040486, which is on Bowling Line for single-family dwelling with accessory building. The background on this file: Town of Torbay is in receipt of a Crown Land referral pertaining to the proposed acquisition of a piece of Crown land on Bowling Line for purposes of residential development, single-family dwelling with accessory building. Committee minutes, excuse me, pardon me. A detailed background report associated with this referral, as the actual referral documents and location maps form part of this motion are attached for reference. Recommendation: the committee reviewed the associated background report, supports the department's recommendation for conditional approval of the Crown Land referral as per conditions outlined in the departmental report, and tables the following motion. Motion to approve Crown Land request for the proposed acquisition of a 0.1860 hectare size parcel on Bowling Line for purpose of residential development, subject to lot dimensions and development meeting conditions as outlined in associated departmental report. So moved.
Second.
Mover and seconder, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. And the next one is a referral by the town of Pooch Cove, proposed St. John's Urban Region Regional Plan Amendment number 9, 2020. 9, 2020. Background: the town of Torbay is in receipt of a referral by the town of Pooch Cove. Pooch Cove has adopted their new draft municipal plan and development regulations 2020 to 2030. As part of the review, it was determined that associated amendments are required to the regional plan map. No amendments are proposed to regional plan policies. Committee minutes, a detailed background report associated with this referral, as well as copies of the referral letter by the town of Pooch Cove, as well as proposed amendment documents are attached for reference and form part of this motion. Recommendation: the committee reviewed the associated background report and recommends to issue a letter of response to the town of Pooch Cove advising that there are no concerns with the proposed amendment and to include departmental commentary in the response. The committee tables the following motion. Motion as presented: the town of Torbay issues a letter of response to the town of Pooch Cove advising that there are no concerns with the proposed amendment and to include commentaries outlined in the associated background report. So moved.
Second.
Mover, seconder, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next one is permit listings, and permit listings for the period of October 5th to 16, 2020 are attached to form part of this motion report. Recommendation, the committee hereby tables the following motion. Motion to accept permit listings for the period of October 5th to October 16, 2020 as presented. So moved.
Second.
Mover, seconder, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And
Carried.
I believe, Your Worship, that ends my report.
Thank you. All right, next on the list, Admin and Finance, Councillor Pollard.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just want to be short and sweet as well.
So
Seems
we
I
like
pressed the wrong button now and gone back there. Oh, it is. Bear with me 1 second. So we're left with the motions for the invoices over $5,000. So there's 2 batches, one on the routine payments we say, and then the others are vendor approvals for projects, etc. So the first one, the Receiver General for August 16th to the 30th, payroll deductions in the amount of $27,264.58. Likewise, Receiver General for September 1st to the 15th, payroll deductions in the amount of $23,400.37. Trio benefits for September 2020, group benefits in the amount of $10,760.96. CIBC Mellon, which represents the August 2020 pension payments, in the amount of $19,167.36. T2 Ventures, July 20th, garbage and recycling, in the amount of $42,771.95. Same for August 2020 for garbage and recycling, in the same amount, $42,771.95. Newfoundland Power for August 2020, group electricity, in the amount of $8,755.43. And August 2020, street lighting and gateway sign, in the amount of $19,920.80. 2 commissioners invoicing for the period July 26th to August 8th in the amount of $5,152, and August 9th through the 22nd for the amount of $5,152, all totaling $205,125.40. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The next ones are the non-standard, as we call it. The Eastern Contracting Limit for the upper 3-corner softball lighting replacement, in the amount of $71,340 and $347.73. Pyramid Construction for asphalt for our repairs and maintenance of roads, in the amount of $5,350.95. Payment to Grand Concourse Authority for trailhead signage for the amount of $6,600. LSW wear parts for carbide cutting edges for snow removal, in the amount of $10,751.35. And Diligent Canada for the council meeting technology subscription, in the amount of $7,814.33, all totaling $101,864.36. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, questions, comments?
I have one brief question.
Go ahead.
Diligent Canada in council meeting technology subscription, is that for the streaming services? Or
I see it, yes.
it is? And is that an annual subscription, quarterly? Okay, thank you.
It's annual.
Anything else?
What's the trailhead signage?
That's the Beach Trail, Western Island Palm Brook Trail, and Upper 3-corner Trail identification that is done by Grand Concourse. They're usually at the beginning of each trail, what this trail is. And
Okay.
Good. Okay,
okay, the
aye, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
sorry.
Carried.
Don't get sidetracked, see, just get right to the point. Next one is what we call motion from other committees. This one's from Infrastructure and Public Works and relates to the History House, and there's a lot of artifacts and other items that need to be removed in order for them to do the work in there, so they had to put it out on RFP or tender and get a price back to actually move that products out of there. So there's a motion here, the Town of Probay award the scope of work History House moving and storage and museum artifact inventory to Babla Drew and Sons based on best value for quoted amount of $6,353.75 inclusive of HST. The budget for History House restoration is $1 million, of which $139,679.50 has been awarded to date. Awarding this is at the recommendation of Fundamental Inc., project manager of History House restoration project. So moved.
Second.
Everyone seconder, Tony, that includes storage? Are they gonna
Sorry?
store that for us too?
Yes. No, we're going to try to combine the two that we have at the present time, as much in one. We hope there's enough left over to store the remainder in there.
Okay, all right.
But that says scope of work, history house, moving and storage of museum. So it's $6,000 just to move it?
I'll move and put it into the new place.
Amazing.
Yeah,
There's a fair amount of
Yeah,
items
so
over there. I mean,
place is
you
pretty
can't
full.
move, place is black.
If anybody has ever used a mover to move their house, the cost is extreme.
Where are you moving it to?
Sorry?
Where are you moving it to?
They're gonna move it to the storage units that we have. out
Where?
in,
Just while construction's on, Peggy.
the road.
Pardon?
Just while construction's happening.
Oh, okay.
so it's going to like Metro Storage? somewhere?
Storage, yeah,
Okay.
storage mall.
All right,
Thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So ends my report, Your Worship.
Thank you, sir. My council pick, oh, there it is. I was getting all froze up. Economic Development and Tourism, Councillor Martin.
Would you like to do that one, Your Worship?
Why?
You
Is that-
filled in for me that night, or would you like me to proceed with?
Hey, you go ahead.
Okay, very well. All right, Economic Development and Tourism took place on October 15th. Deputy Mayor was participating as well as the Mayor.
Was I on that meeting? I don't even remember.
Stepped in for me. It was last Thursday night, wasn't
Okay, yeah, I guess.
it? Yeah. Trek Consulting was there and presented their phase one of the Economic Development Roadmap
Yes, I was here.
Yes.
report. The Economic Roadmap. Mayor, if you wouldn't mind taking a minute at the end of this and just elaborating on the Economic Roadmap bit.
Sure.
So it looks like the roadmap was discussed as well as demographics on the regional project. Torbay Business Awards, which is postponed until spring of 21. As well as Shop Torbay Virtual Market, which is coming up soon and much similar to our community market, which unfortunately has been modulated into a virtual market due to the coronavirus. As well, tourism, regional wayfinding, culture and heritage, and business arising. There were no actions to report and no new business. So other than that, I'll turn it back to the Mayor for commentary on the roadmap update.
Yeah, so we were here on, this was Thursday night, and Trek presented to council their updated report on our basically economic roadmap for the town, and this was, I think, phase one. Don, am I right on that? It's phase one. And because we changed direction a few years ago on how we were going to develop down here behind Town Hall, whereas we removed the community center from there, and now that's going to have a completely different look to it, or requirements, that council, obviously, we felt we needed to update that, and we did all agree to get that done. They also looked at a lot of our other reports that we've had since, I know I saw a date of 2009, some of the things they looked at in regards to tourism and what business requirements the town had, what we had in inventory, what we need, what we're looking for, and the type of activities that we would like to put, not just down here, but in the entire town, the types of I guess, industry and business that we should be trying to attract, or how we proceed to do that. So it was quite a detailed report, talked a lot about demographics, and it's the first time, I guess, that in a while, that what jumped out at me was after we had our downturn in new housing starts, and new people moving in, our population has kind of leveled off to some point, but as we move forward in the next 15 years, our biggest portion of our population is going to move from the 35 to 54 age range up to, obviously, 54 to more senior age, and I'm going to be in that group too myself in the next 15 years. And it's something that we need to be cognizant of as council, that we are making sure that those residents that currently live in our town now, that are on the cusp of retirement and may not want to be living in their house for a while, that we need to make sure that we try and attract some of those type of construction here to have places for those people to live that choose to live in that type of environment. And I know that neighbors of my parents on Enemy Line are recently just moved out of Torbay into St. John's to go live in a retirement community type home. And that's not a trend that I would like to see certainly happen within our town, that our residents that have been living here for their whole lives, once they get to a point they want to live in a retirement type of setting, that they had to move from our town into another place. So that's not something that, it's something that we need to keep an eye on and that we need to prepare for. So that was one of the big things that I took from that presentation the other night. I don't know if anybody else had any comments they'd like to make on what they heard.
I just re-echo your comments in terms of that is what we really have to take some serious look at. I think, we spoke briefly about even trying to have the town take some ownership of that as well and try to, bring it up to a higher priority than it is at the present time, and not just let it sit idly and just wait for someone to come and do it, actually try to put some groundwork under it so that we can get developers to come in and actually do that type of work, so we will have it sooner than later.
Yeah, it's something definitely that we're going to have to take a look at in our, I guess, with our planning department and economic development, whoever. And a lot of times for those type of projects, for those initiatives to get started, sometimes the town has to put some money behind it to get it started off. So it's something that we'll have to consider. Anybody else have any comments or questions on that?
No, I think it'd be great if we got started on, the living spaces for seniors down the road, because myself, but I've seen some lovely places around in town that have recently went up, and you can even take a look around yourself, and you got everything you need there. Just pay your money and way to go, right?
Yeah, something that we need to be wary of.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Moving on, infrastructure and public works, Councillor Thorngas.
We had our meeting on October 14th, myself and Councillor Pollard and Director of Planning and Infrastructure were not planning, public works and infrastructure. Flow meters project is in process. Review of feasibility of intake extension has started. Leak detection will be starting in the next few weeks, and design work on the flow meter chambers and locations will commence this fall. History House, we just heard that we had a motion there, recommendation from the project manager to have the artifacts moved inside to a storage area. And sidewalks, the prime consultant agreement has been drafted, is now being executed. And water treatment, Norpond Wood Environmental is currently working on refining the estimates and completing a funding proposal for November. And trail development, the extension of Western Island Brook Trail is 85% completed. And one of the other things that's not on here that we had talked about was speed calming policy, and looking at having that policy revised so that we actually have the revised policy on file. Any questions, comments?
Yeah, can I ask you about the sidewalks? How far, they're designing now,
There,
are they?
yes, there won't be anything actually happening until the spring.
Okay.
That's when the
Yeah, it'll have to
work
be,
will
right?
actually take place.
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll be already up and running for the
Yeah,
spring.
good.
Anyone else have any questions or comments on any of that? No? Thank you, Councillor Thorngas.
Welcome.
All right, recreation and community services, Councillor Glenn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We met on October 14th. In attendance was the mayor, as well as myself as chair, and our director of community services. The things we talked about, basically talked about the community events. The director went over the program events that would take place in November and December, and I thought it was all very well done. We did also talk about the Remembrance Day game plan for safety from the new COVID rules. We talked about the gates of the Torbay Common. Basically, the commissioners are still keeping a close eye on the rec center. Our budget is being worked on right now by staff, so that's good. So hopefully we'll have something soon for proposed 2021 budget. And the last but not least, what we talked about was some of the general skating challenges that COVID is presenting, and we're basically going to be consulting with some of our neighboring communities, see how they're making sure that we do contact tracing and stuff like that, and make sure we have a staff or a volunteer or basically someone manning the doors there to make sure everything's done above board. And other than that, it's been really good, smooth sailing.
All right,
That's it.
that's it. Any questions? Councillor Goss?
Can I just ask if that's an additional commissioner that we have on staff now, or is it the one that we had that's working or staking out down at the Torbay Common?
I think I'm not aware if it's a new commissioner. It's the same commissioner, right? No? It's
additional.
It's an additional commissioner? Okay. I did not know that. There's an additional commissioner.
Free of charge?
Yeah, likely. There's nothing free.
That means no.
So how long have we had them hired for?
They finished this week. Actually, it was for 4 weeks.
It's 4 weeks. Yeah.
So to monitor, because of the severity of the matter that was there, it was felt that dedicated resources were required from 6:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Monday to Friday, and then they would close the gates in the nighttime. So starting next week, the gates will be, well, the gates are being locked every night now anyway, but it'll be staff in conjunction with existing commissioners.
We gave any thought to having the pedestrian gate put up there where the gate is locked in the nighttime? The same as they have on Shays Lane?
I sent an email actually the other day.
We talked about, brought that up at our committee level, and then when I seen that again, because it's open on the other end anyway.
We did, the Director of Recreation Community Services Facility Supervisor and myself did meet on Friday to discuss a series of issues, and we discussed it briefly. We have to get an estimate because it's not within budget, so we're confirming what it's going to cost to put it in place. And there is another gate there along the side that would be closed in as well too, so that'll come back through Recreation Community Services Committee.
I think it's rather interesting to note that we went from thinking that there was no issues there to having a commissioner on staff there for a few hours every night. That was interesting to see how that worked out.
Yeah, no, it can go, I said the situation fluid and changes, right? So we just gotta adapt to something, we got complaints, something bad's going on, we've got to adjust and try to discourage that and do what we can. Right?
And if I may just make note from planning side of it, results are being noticed in the municipal enforcement reports. There's no recent activities, so our efforts are working. I guess a
That's good.
multi-committee effort. The gate has solved quite a few problems so far. It's not the answer to everything, but it is working.
Yep, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear.
All right, all right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Number 2, Liaison Committees. Excuse me. Atlantic Mayor's Congress. I received an email today, and I think that we're getting close to nailing down a date. It's going to be May 27th, Don. I think that weekend we're going to host the Atlantic Mayor's Congress here in the town of Torbay, if everything keeps going the way it is. So that'll be a nice little boost for us. Intergovernmental affairs, I don't really have anything to report there. Jack Byrne, Councillor Pollard, got anything?
Yes, Your Worship, we met last week before, anyway, one that passed between this council and last council we met. Challenges of COVID are real for Jack Byrne and have been for some time. I think the positive note now is that they picked up some of what revenue we expected to lose because of the bingo. So the bingo has really been a great help in terms of cutting back the projected loss for the year. And the good news, I think, that finally the minor hockey has come back on stream now. They made they come to some, I guess, arrangement with the government based on the guidelines and everything else, and so they started up. But when we started COVID, even with the subsidies for staff and the grants, we're looking at the Jack Byrne's going to probably set back $100,000 for the year, and that has now been cut down to somewhere in the area of like 55-ish. But we're still expecting that there will be a loss. The positive side of that is, on first swath of the next year's budget, it looks like there will be a slight profit. And, like I said, it's great that's going that way. We certainly need to, once we get outside of COVID, we need to have a look at the whole rate structure and the hourly charges and who uses and how they use it, and try to get Jack Byrne back to some, positive bottom line, and even potentially put away some extra dollars so we don't get into these situations that we're in right now. That's about it.
Thanks, go ahead.
Just a quick question. The management agreements, any movement on getting that
We haven't
updated,
done-
or?
We haven't done anything with that yet.
No, that is still on
The lease agreement, you mean, right?
Yeah, just the,
There's two different ones, lease agreement and a management agreement.
okay, so which one's not signed?
Well, the lease agreement, but obviously, the current lease agreement would remain in force in absence of the other one being updated. So that's what it is.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
a
there's-
reminder, we need to, I know it's kind of, it's just paperwork type of thing, I
Yeah.
suppose, but we
But
have to get that, that's legal stuff, we need to
Right, but
dot those i's, across those t's.
that's not necessarily a Jack Byrne issue. That's more of an issue between our four
Towns.
councils that we have to get straightened up. And
Sure.
I know that we've been working on that for quite some time. We've tried to have a couple of meetings. It's been circulated to council and to the other councils in the other towns for comments or suggestions on any changes that are required to it. So I guess maybe I'll send off an email tomorrow to our four towns and see if we can figure out something to move forward on that. That's good.
Yeah, just remind us, it's not an optional document, right? I don't want
No,
us to
no,
I just don't want us to get in any trouble if something,
No, I agree.
yeah, there's a reason why it's required.
All right, I'll get on that tomorrow. Yeah, and to your point, Councilor Pollard, about COVID and the effects that it's going to have on Jack Byrne in particular, we know it as is having effect on the town and every town, basically, that if you're expecting to generate revenues from people using your facility, when you can only use a small percentage of it at any time and closed for a long time, it should be no surprise to anybody in our council or in the other ones if the Jack Byrne Arena comes back with an operating loss this year. And we're not out of the woods yet on COVID. We might be at this for another year yet, so it's a lot to look at. And I know that staff and the Jack Byrne Arena staff and everybody else is looking at whatever funding opportunities are available out there coming from the federal government and the provincial government to try and offset those losses. So it's just need to remain vigilant on that. But thank you. Any other questions? No? All right. Moving on. Northeast Avalon Joint Council.
It's a regular ongoing meeting that we have with Eastern Health. So it's pretty straightforward there if anybody's got any comments, but it's the regular update.
Oh, okay. Is this one updated as mostly around COVID stuff?
Yes, it's
That's
all
pretty-
basically with COVID.
Oh, yeah, around, that's pretty good. Thank you. Must have I hate to admit that I didn't read that yet, Mary, but I'll have to read through it.
Oh, I can't
Tomorrow.
believe it.
I know. The RNC, don't have no report there on that. Tory Volunteer Fire Department.
Thank you.
Councillor
Just
Marr.
very brief report. There's a bi-weekly meeting last Monday night, and all the new elected positions started that night, and there's just commentary on Fire Prevention Week. Everyone put a good effort into it, and other than that, next meeting is next Monday night.
All right, thank you. UMC, no real update there. We're in the process of doing planning for our virtual M&L conference. That's going to be coming up in November. Hopefully, everybody gets registered. I know that we do have a number of members of our council are registered, and hopefully some of our staff will get registered there too, and take in any of the sessions that are of interest. I guess of particular note is that this is being treated by the government as a training opportunity, so there's an opportunity for us to save some money on that with regards to getting back some of the portion. Don, how much is it that you can get back for when it's a training with the government? 40%?
The training, it's up to $1,000 a year, so anything
okay.
that we've submitted to date, so, yeah.
All right, good. Whatever we can save now is good. That's it. I don't have anything there. We got no notice of motion. New business. Pass. Councillor Glenn.
Yeah, I just want to say a quick thanks to the rest of the council. I've had some health issues last couple of weeks, so I've been in a bit of the loop. But I just think we're getting along really well as a team. And I know sometimes we've got councillors down, and other people have been stepping up, and so just want to say thanks to the council and the staff. It's just I think we've got some real good teamwork going on. So I just wanted to just to acknowledge that and say thanks everybody. We'll keep on rolling.
All right, thank you. Councillor Martin, passed. Who's just me left? Oh, okay. I'd reiterate what you say. I just want to say thank you to the staff for keeping things together, afloat through this, all the COVID and everything else that's going on every day that you have to deal with, and also to the residents that hopefully are paying attention to what we're doing and challenging us when it needs to be challenged, and seeing any of the good stuff that we do when the good stuff gets done. I know that sometimes a lot of what happens, the things that have a negative light attached to them always seem to rise to the top in the media and all this kind of stuff. But there's me and Mary were talking the other day, Friday, when we were here at the solar panel installation, about how much exciting stuff that's going on right now behind the scenes, and things that's actually happening that we're moving forward. And it's every now and then it's nice to be proud of that, and we need to be highlighting that stuff more. So anyway, thank you everybody. Let's check, see if we got any questions. No questions, Don?
No.
All right, so next public council meeting is scheduled to take place Monday, November 2nd, at 6:30 here in the Torbay Council Chambers. With that, I would entertain a motion, please.
So moved.
Mover,
Second.
seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Isn't
Carried.
it 7:30?